do you believe you can get yourself in the zone mentally that you can overcome anything at a certain moment in time? If so, like, how do you create that mindset to get yourself in that place?
Yeah, I believe you can. I believe your mind's your strongest weapon, and your body will, your mind will give up before your body long ever does. You just need to tell yourself it won't. Like David Goggins and people like, look what they do with their body, and it's their mind that's making them do it. I've worked with a mind coach before called Vinny Shawman, and we've done like little bits of work, and I worked with him for that rematch. And it's hard to explain what he does with people, because what he does is different for everyone. But my mindset was so strong from working with him. It took a few weeks and just a few sessions just to instill a few key words into my head. And what he had my corner team doing was, one of the key words was warrior. So he had my corner team saying, Liam, you're a warrior, blah, blah, this, that and that. And it just helped like keep me so focused and so focused on the task at hand and stuff like that. It's really hard to explain unless you've ever like done it yourself and stuff like that. Because like I said, what he does with everyone is different. But what he did with me for that fight were unbelievable.
It sounds like you have to have a good team around you to succeed. The people you keep around you, how important is it to be mixing and mingling with people that are supporting you and driving you forward?
I've been so lucky to train at this gym, to walk through these doors. There's 5 other Thai boxing gyms around this part of Leeds. And if I would have walked into any of the others, I wouldn't have been where I was today. Richard, my coach, he was British Commonwealth and European champion. He had around 50 fights, so he was very experienced himself. And then Andy, who brought me to the gym, he's ended up being 5-time world champion. Me and him trained together every day religiously, and we still do now. Then we had Jordan Watson. Again, he's 2 years younger than me, but he was here at the time, and he was already junior British champion. Me and him growing up fighting, he turned out to be 3 times world champion, fought all the best fighters at his weight. He fought Bukaw and people like that, and Yodson Clay, who was some of the biggest names in the sport. And then we had like other world champions, James France, who's my main sparring partner, and he was, everyone said he was the best technical fighter England's ever had. Then we had Davy Mack, world champion, Rich Cadden, world champion, Lisa Horton, world champion. We had about 10 world champions all in the gym at one time. And I think every other gym in England lucky to have 1 or 2, and we had 10 all in one place. So if it wasn't for these guys here, I don't know if I'd have got anywhere near like the level of success, because we were like a family, but we always used to drive each other up. If one person were looking a bit fit and sharp on pads, it had always pushed us. We can't have that. He's going to knack us next time we're sparring. He's going to batter us. We can't have that. We need to get... So like when we're out running before the session, if someone starts to pull away, it's like, no, you can't have that. You've got to... They were like always that friendly, competitive edge. But when you're sparring and stuff like that, it started to get a bit heated and stuff, and you've got elite level world champions. You've got to be on sharp, you've got to be on point, you've got to be on the ball.
Being sharp, being on point and being on the ball, kind of your daily routine, what do you do on a daily basis, or what have you done in the past that's different from other people that will give you edge on your competition, or something that's a little bit unique or different that you do that you believe separates you and makes you elite at what you do?
Oh, it's a tough one, that. Getting the right training method, it's been a lot of trial and error over the years, because obviously I've been doing it for so long now. Everyone has to do what's right for their body. I know a lot of like fighters who will get up in the morning and run 7-8 miles straight off. Now I don't do any of that, because I think it takes too much out of your knees and it ruins your session too much. I do sprint training, and because it's a bit more sport specific, and I know like a lot of fighters don't really do too much of this. But if you want to be explosive and fast and have fast twitch muscles and stuff like that, I think sprint work is very important for that. But I know a lot of fighters who will just get up and just go running for like real slow for 7-8 miles on a morning, which I don't think that's very sport specific at all, really. When you fight in bursts. You don't fight like plodding like you do like that. But my training regimes have been just pretty similar to what everyone else does, really. I come down, I hit the pads, but I'll hit the pads intensely every single time. When I spar, I have it in my head that I'm not going to lose. Right, I'm not going to lose a round tonight. I'm getting in there with 10 world champions. Right, I'm not going to lose a round. And if I do lose a round, I'll make sure I'll win the next one even more convincingly, you know. But it's similar to every other top level fighter. I clinch, I spar, I do my strength and conditioning, I'll do my sprints. I'll just make sure I try and push myself as far as I can. And I'm lucky that I've had the training partners around me to push me. There might be a world champion at a gym, say down in London, he might be a champion, he might be training just as hard as I do, he might kick the pads just as hard, he might hit the bag just as hard, but if he ain't got other 10 world champions around him pushing in sparring, I've got the edge.